Hi, my rays of light. This is Psychic Medium Raymond Guzman, and welcome back to my channel. All of you that are new, tuning in for the very first time, perhaps to this video, welcome to my channel. Please take a moment to hit that red subscribe button on the bottom right-hand corner of this video, as well as the notification bell icon. So, as you all know, I did a psychic reading perhaps a couple hours after the passing of, it was like less than 24 hours after the passing of Nipsey. And I did I was one of the first psychics on YouTube to do the reading on him. There had been some other psychics that had done like a year ago a reading on him or so, but I was one of the first ones to get it out there, primarily because a lot of y'all had requested, a lot of my rays of light were like messaging me like the day of the incident. I like literally maybe like an hour later, I was receiving tons of, being tagged in different articles and on Instagram and just being messaged. So I decided to do the reading. I still hold true to that reading. For those of you that have not checked that reading out, it's just fairly new. You can find it here on my channel, on my playlist of celebrity psychic readings. Go ahead and take a look at it, and it'll make sense with what I'm going to talk about today. A lot of you have been asking me for a follow-up on the actual suspect, the person that supposedly carried out this execution or this assassination, murder, whatever you want to call it. And just like I had said in that psychic reading, everything is coming to pass just like I said. I said that the media in that reading was going to say that we're most likely going to find the suspect. And that happened like after I did the reading. I did that reading, published it maybe around 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning on that day, the next day. And then later that afternoon, possibly, I believe it was later that afternoon, hours later or the next day, they found surveillance footage and they found the suspect. And again, they said that it would be, they said that it was gang related, just like I said it would be in the video, but that is all masking the truth behind all of this. I still hold true that this was done because of Dr. CB, and I know a lot of you that are correcting me on how I pronounce Dr. CB's name. I always say Dr. Sebi, but Sebi, CB, I don't do it intentionally on purpose. I have a problem with my speech as far as like when I pronounce names. I'm not good at pronouncing names, so I apologize ahead of time. I know it irks some of you out there. I can't change who I am. That's how I pronounce things. So if I pronounce anything in this video, please forgive me for that. But this is the guy, Eric Holder, who was an aspiring rapper, and I believe he goes by another name as well. When I look at his photograph, I get very tense up. My throat feels very tense. I get like a knot where I can't even talk. Like I feel so much negative energy and toxic energy. This is like face of someone that has like cold, like runs cold. Their emotions are cold. But there's a lot of things I want to talk about today in this video about this whole case that y'all maybe have, a lot of you have asked in the comment section of the video. Now I disabled the comments in the other video because like my rays of light, those of you that are here and that are good followers of my channel and that really support me, I don't like any negativity on my channel, so I will disable the comments if it gets very negative, because I don't like other people coming onto my channel and attacking my rays of light or even attacking me, because I work hard to do these videos. I don't do it if I was doing it for the money. If I was doing these videos for the money, I would not be giving all this detail that I give in these videos, and I wouldn't do so many videos. I'm doing it for y'all. At the end of the day, I do it for y'all. So people are always going to have their opinion. The haters are out there. I don't care what y'all think, the haters. I'm going to continue doing me. If you don't like it, well, too bad. You can stay mad. Okay? So, like I said, with Eric Holder, the story that is leading out there is that Nipsey was at the store. He was helping an ex-convict kind of get back to his life. And Nipsey had a discussion with Eric Holder. That's the way the narrative, quote unquote, the narrative that the media is spinning, the police is spinning. We know that the police, how they are in LA, the LAPD police is okay with all these celebrity deaths and murders. We know how that is, and we know I'm not going to even go there. But the narrative is supposedly that Eric Holder got into a discussion with him, left the scene, came back with a gun, shot him, then kicked him. That's all observed on the actual video surveillance footage, etc. But the motive behind it, police say, quote unquote, they suspect it was personal beef. Okay, personal beef. Nipsey, even though he had, issues and he had enemies, just like I said, a few days before, there was another article. I had said in my video before that a few days before Nipsey was murdered, assassinated, whatever you want to call it, that they had, there was a person or people that had threatened him, and he knew that this was going to happen sooner or later to him. Well, I found an article, someone tagged me, thank you to the person that tagged me on Instagram, and they said, look, and there was an article saying that that's true, that there was an actual text message or communication that was received days before, and Nipsey received that. It was a threat, whether it was a death threat, which I feel like it was, that is what I got from Spirit when I was doing the reading without even knowing it. And it came out correct. So right now this is just like a mashup. I'm just talking. This is not really, I'm giving some psychic insights, but I'm really just talking right now until I get into the actual psychic reading, which is for Lizzo today. That's how I'll be focusing on. So with Eric, what I am getting is that he is someone that's very violent. He has a lot of bad juju, a lot of bad energy in him. But the motive behind it is not being said. And again, like I said, it's about Dr. Sebi's documentary. That documentary that Nipsey was working on to release. It was going to expose things and talk about things about the government, about the system, the pharmaceuticals, the big pharma companies. I think a lot of you out there still don't understand or don't comprehend the power that these large pharma companies have and the damage and what extent that they will go to hide the truth. I need to do a separate video so you can see what I'm talking about and see the correlation between this, Lisa Left Eye Lopez, and Nipsey, and Tupac. I need to kind of bring in and reel in all this so that way y'all will know exactly. Eric was the pawn. I'm going to say that like that. He was the pawn in all of this. However, he's not the wolf. This is a pack of wolves that wanted to take Nipsey out. There is always someone that is going to give instructions or orders. He would have had instructions and orders, but I think a lot of people still don't see that correlation. But I'm going to be doing a separate video eventually on all the deaths of naturopathic doctors that are out there. In the last 4 to 5 years, there's been tons of naturopathic doctors that have remedies that have died mysteriously. Either having heart attack, or they just were found suicide, like hung, or they were killed. And it's like these are young doctors in their 30s or 40s, maybe some in their 50s, that are naturopathic. Now some people would say, well, this is just everyday life, people die, that's what happens. But when you start looking at the naturopathic doctors being targeted and some of them going missing, there's a greater thing at stake here. It's a greater, like I said, Nipsey was silenced, and that is all that it boils down to, whether you want to see that or you don't. Now they're saying that the woman that drove the vehicle that was carrying Eric off the scene, that she's not being charged. Why wouldn't she be charged if you are an accessory to murder or assassination, whatever you want to call it? I mean, she was the one that was driving him. Supposedly, again, I'm telling you what the media is saying and how it doesn't make any of that make sense. Like, if this would have been, if the story that they have, and the all adds up. If you really listen to it, if you're spiritually awoken, this won't make sense to you at all. None of this makes sense. The LAPD is saying that it was personal beef, and then they're saying the woman that was driving him, she's not going to be charged, according to some sources out there, that she's not going to be charged at all, but she could be. Why wouldn't she be? I mean, she was aware of what he was doing, obviously, and she took off. I mean, hello? Does that ring? You know, why isn't she being held accountable? What agreement did they come to? And there's speculation that he's an informant for the police, that he's an informant for, you know, for the gangs. I don't know. There's just a lot of different things going on. But I'm sticking true, just like I did with Jesse Smollett. Even when everyone who comes against me and thinks that I'm wrong, usually I am right. And I'm not saying that to be, you know, presumptuous or think that I'm, you know, badass. I'm being very humble here, but I'm saying, just like Michael Jackson yesterday, or the day before yesterday, there's been articles that are coming out that show that the dates that James, it was a safe check, that he had said, you know, blah, blah, blah about Michael. It's been publicized that all those claims are false. And it's an embarrassment for them. Their story's falling apart. All of this documentary that they did on Michael is falling apart. And so I wanted to talk about that in today's mashup segment, along with Eric Holder, this guy, who is the responsible party for Nipsey. But like I said, there's a more than just him involved in this. But Eric is going to run the same fate as Nipsey if he opens up his mouth or he says anything. So it's gonna, if anything that he confesses to or says, it's gonna be nothing. It's gonna be everything but the truth, because again, it's cover up. They're not gonna. He's not gonna talk about it. But I wouldn't be surprised if something happens to him in the system, etc. You know, because again, this is a big cover up for what really is going on here. Then a lot of people have asked me about Nick Cannon taking over this project. What is going to happen to him? You know, I don't feel like Nick could really even take on this documentary that Nipsey is doing, because Nipsey was someone that was very busy, but he made time for things, and I feel like he was very much more organized than Nick. And I'm not dissing Nick in any kind of way. I don't even know Nick. I think he's a great man out there, but I don't see that he would have time really to get this documentary finished and get it out. And I don't feel like he's the right person to handle that. Like, his energy. I mean, y'all can let me know what you agree in the comment section below, what you think, if you agree with me, or you think that he would be able to finish it, or if he's even the right person to do it. But I really don't feel like he's the right person to finish this documentary and get it out. There's just something about Nick's health, that his spiritual self. I know he's a very spiritual person too, but I feel like it's wrong. Like, I don't feel like he's the right person to finish it. I don't know. That's just what I get from my soul and my own opinion on that, you know, because it's, like I said, it's just not, this is more of a mashup segment that I'm doing right now. But yeah, I don't feel like he's the right person for it. I just don't. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'd be interested in it. I feel like it will eventually come out, but it'll probably be two years, if not less, you know, 2 to 3 years. I don't feel like it's going to be coming out real soon. I feel like now there's more delays. And does Nick run, you know, any kind of danger? I would say heck yeah, because I mean, look what happened to Nipsey. Look what's happened to Dr. Sebi. Look what has happened to everyone, all these naturopathic doctors that I'm talking about that are exposing the truth that there are cures out there for AIDS and cancer and etc. A personal friend of mine is working on something similar, and I was on her Instagram yesterday, and for security purposes, I'm not going to say who it is. She's a lovely soul out there, and I was noticing people were coming for her. She posted something about Nipsey, one of his quotes about, you know, he had made a quote that if let me get my phone here so I can read it to you exactly, because I posted it on my Instagram stories. If those of you that follow it, you'll be able to see it, but it's at Psychic Medium Ray. but I want to read it to you here because in many ways it makes sense. What he said. Okay, it says here, if they kill me for this documentary, y'all better ride for me. And that was a quote from Nipsey. So it's like, you know, people, I mean, he, like I said, he had a feeling that there was danger doing this documentary. So the same fate, you know, I feel like Nick would be in danger as well. Like they're trying to silence anyone that comes out with the truth, that comes out with something that would expose more or bring more attention, excuse me, to these pharmaceutical companies that are making trillions of dollars, not billions, but trillions of dollars. This big pharma is like a huge, think of it like the cartel, but on steroids. Massive amounts of steroids. Like that's how huge this is. Like you think the cartel is bad. The big pharma companies, these conglomerate global drug companies have a lot of power and control over a lot of things, over a lot of people. And they have a lot of people working for them. And a lot of these people that are working for them are not good people. They're corrupt. Okay, so that's enough about Nipsey Hussle. My, again, condolences to Lauren, Healing, and the family and people that supported Nipsey, etc. And you know, it's just, this is just a whole sad. But like I said, there's going to be a lot more coming out about this. There's going to be a lot more stories being circulated, which is going to cause a lot of confusion to what is the truth out there. But stay awoke. Remember what I've said. It's not going to be what I've said. It's going to be twisted, and it's going to be looking like it's gang related or an ex-gang member, and that this was a personal beef, blah, blah, blah. We've heard it all before. Okay, so let me get into the next video thing. Okay, so our next topic today on this mashup is about the Brunei. Like I said, I don't know if I pronounced that right. Brunei. This is like a small country in Southeast Asia. And what they're doing recently, George Clooney started a movement to boycott a lot of these hotels because the owners, you know, of these hotels, the country, you know, Brunei, they've basically passed a law that has been in effect already. Like a lot of countries don't accept gay or lesbian or LGBT Q. They, you know, they will in other countries it's punishable. Any sodomy, any kind of same-sex marriage or any same-sex acts are punishable by death in a lot of countries. So I'm not going to read all of this, but basically if you look at this statement here, it says, in a statement, Wednesday, Human Rights Watch described the penal code as barbaric. This is the Sahira, or I can't pronounce these names, but it's a law, Sharia, something like that. I'd have to look at it, but it's a new penal code, barbaric to the core, and urged the Sultan to immediately suspend amputation, stoning, and all other right-abusing provisions and punishments. This is a 72-year-old Sultan, is believed to be among the region's richest people thanks to Brunei's oil industry. So this is like an oil guru, an oil, you know, an oil big conglomerate business. In announcing the introduction of the new laws, the government website quoted him as saying, "The government does not expect other people to accept and agree with it, but that it would suffice if they just respect the nation in the same way as it also respects them." On Tuesday, the U.S. State Department joined the criticism, saying the laws run counter to Brunei's international human rights obligation, including the respect to torture or other cruel, inhumane, or degrading treatment or punishment. So like I've said before, we here in the USA have it made. If you go to another country and you're gay or you're lesbian or you're bisexual or you are non-gender binary and you dress the part or you do any acts, whether it's like having sex with your partner, etc., you are running the risk of being stoned to death. That's the law that's being passed. This is barbaric. This is like taking a back seat, like a step back. Like I said, a lot of the consciousness in these other countries are not as elevated as in certain parts of the world. Here in the US, we are in Australia, in the UK, it's like a lot of consciousness is elevated. People are more spiritually awakened. People are accepting of gays, lesbians, etc. But in these other countries that are smaller, there's a lot of prejudice, a lot of racism. There's uh, a lot of hate for this, and this isn't like an Islamic. Now, this guy, I believe he was British or British descent, or he has some affiliation to the British. Let me get into the next photograph so you can see who I'm talking about. This is the Sultan. And the Sultan is Hassanal Bolkiah. Bolkiah. That's the guy there. He is evil. He is so just looking at him, you can tell he's like a dictator. This is scary. This is like my heart goes out to the people that have to be under his government, under this control, this power. These are the boycotted hotels that people are boycotting. It's a movement started by, or at least George Clooney has received some kind of credit towards this boycott. But these are the hotels that is run by Brunei, by this country, and it's the Hotel Bel Air, the Beverly Hills Hotel, the Dorchester, and going forth, you can see them all here. But these are the areas that if you support LGBTQ, you may want to boycott these, because again, we're talking about a billionaire. He's one of the richest people, and for him to say that he approves of these barbaric methods. Love is love. This is not about someone killing someone else and being held accountable, stoned. These are usually two adults that are consenting and love each other. And if you want to express love, you can't do it. And traveling anywhere near this country of Brunei, even though it's very small, I would not want to go there. It's like, this is scary. Like, we're taking steps back, and the world needs to come together and stop this, because again, we're taking steps back in the way that things should be more accepting in this timeline, in this time period that we are living in right now in America. And this is just not right. It's despicable. It's sickening. It is disgusting that someone would want to punish someone by stoning them. It reminds me of the story in the Bible of, Mary Magdalene, and I don't like to get into religion, but how she was stoned for being, a prostitute. She was accused of being a prostitute and stoned. Stones were thrown at her, and there was other, stories in the Bible that people have been stoned. This is just crazy. But anyways, I wanted to cover that in the mashup. Let me know what you think about this whole Brunei situation and this new law that he's passed. Well, it's been in effect for years, since 2013, but it wasn't stoning to death. It was like other things, like amputation of limbs, and I mean barbaric types of punishment for people that just want to love one another. Okay, so let's get into the next one. Ta-da! Here's Lizzo. I absolutely adore her. I love Lizzo, and I love her music. And I'm so proud to do a psychic reading on her. I've been dying to actually tune in and see what I see, but I see nothing but greatness. Those of you, do you know who Lizzo is? If you haven't, she's someone that's been in the industry for quite some time. She's busted her ass, honestly, to get where she's at. And I just love her message out there. She's very outspoken. She's got this sass. She's got this, this flavor to her music. She has songs like Juice, Tempo with Missy Elliott. I love that song. She has other songs, other hits out there that I really love. If you get a chance, go to Spotify or go to Apple Music and kind of listen to her albums, her previous albums. And she has an album coming out, which I actually pre-ordered because, I can't miss. I'm a big fan of music. I love music. For me, it's therapeutic. And so I just love, 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 love. Let's see here. Where are you, Lizzo? I wish I would have had this information before doing that, so just bear with me here. Um, okay, so this her album is coming out. It's called um, "Cause I Love You," and it's coming out on April 19th. So mark your calendars or your phones. You can pre-order it now on iTunes. I'm supporting Lizzo. I love her message. She's very accepting of the LGBTQ community, of people that are overweight, people that are beautiful on the outside but maybe don't feel beautiful on the outside. And she has tracks on here that so far she's released "Cause I Love You," "Juice," "Tempo," and it's gonna be having 11 tracks on this. And again, she's getting to be more well known. I say like she's like I don't like to make comparisons, and some of y'all may not agree, but she's like the Lady Gaga of um, the black community. I feel like she represents us very well. And I do get and feel like she is going to be like Lady Gaga's career was and blow up and really have success, because people that know about her really love and support her, and they like her vibe. Apart from having good vocals, impeccable vocals, she is very much a master at like writing her songs and having a lot of the creative input. And she does things on her Instagram, for those of you that follow her, like, getting some of the, what she calls her big girls, recruits them herself, not having their management team do it. No, she does the recruiting. Like, she has hands on in a lot of these things. So, what I see for her going 2019, going forward, I see her career really taking off. She's going to have a lot of success with this album. It's going to have a lot of success, a lot of collabs from here on out, not just from her album, but with other artists and other songs. I feel like a lot of them fear a strong, beautiful black woman. They're going to fear her, but some people are going to embrace her. There's going to be a lot of criticism around her, and there's going to be headlines about her weight and blah blah blah. When it comes down to it, she is someone that has struggled with her weight. That's something that's known. She's talked about it. But I think the issues run deeper, and she's come to a point where she still loves herself, but there's a lot of pressure, and I feel like she may lose a little bit more weight, just like Adele did in the beginning, because Adele was kind of, heavy in the very beginning, very beautiful though. And I didn't see anything wrong with her weight. I think God makes us as we beautiful as we are, but a lot of times there's pressure, or we want to evolve and we want to take things into our own hand to change and transform ourselves here on earth. So I feel like with her, she may go through some transformations to lose a little bit more weight. So the image that we see today, and the Lizzo that we see, I call her Lizzie, the Lizzo that we see today, she's definitely going to like transform like a butterfly and really change and go through that metamorphosis that she's going through already. She's working very hard. She's, really pushing through. There's a lot of resistance, like I said. There's a lot of people that don't support her because, again, of her music, the lyrics, and just her sass. She has a lot of sass, but she's coming into a period where she's going to be very successful. She's going to have fame. She is going to be recognized and accepted by a lot of people that are already in the industry. And a lot of them already accept her and love her and adore her. Sam Smith being one of them. And then, I see her like really, making that cha-ching, that money. She's really getting into that part of her. But there's something that she's going to be cutting off. There's something that's ending in her life right now. There's something that is coming to an end. This could be like a friendship with someone on a deeper level, or her cutting ties with maybe some kind of, project to take on her music and focus on that, because she's going to be into different things, not just music, I feel, and I foresee her going into possibly acting at some point, because she's so talented, in also doing sponsorships like for makeup. Like, if we don't see her with makeup yet, that is something definitely that could be coming out too. Like I said, she's entering this period where she's going to be her own entrepreneur and building her own empire, and the name Lizzo, is going to be everywhere. Everyone's going to see her. And then I see fulfillment. I feel like, definitely if she is with someone right now, you know, I feel like there's a lot of love around her, and her friends support her, and those that she keeps it real with, they support her and they get her. There's a lot of good celebrations ahead for her, a lot of laughs. Um, I do feel like if she's not careful, there's something with her voice that could be coming in the next 2 years. Within anywhere from now to 2 years from now, she's going through some vocal changes, and I get that she could develop some nodules if she hasn't already, that may require surgery or may require her to kind of quit, you know, touring or doing any kind of concerts, live performances for a extended amount of time. Because again, I feel like she is one of those singers that's like, you know, she uses her voice. She doesn't like to rely a lot on pre-recorded or backing tracks, etc. So she's got to be careful with her voice, and I feel like she goes through changes already. But when I tune into her as a medical intuitive, I feel like there's a lot, you know, this is not me diagnosing, so I'm not a doctor, but just what I get spiritually, I feel like on her vocal cords, my vocal cords are hurting as I'm talking. So for her, she's got to be careful, because this is something where she could actually become like have a hemorrhage in her vocal cords or have some kind of vocal damage if she's not careful. I also feel like she's going to be targeted, like I said, by media. There's going to be stories that are spun that she's a diva, that she is, you know, someone that's very difficult to work with, and she's late, blah blah blah, you know, the typical things that we see with, you know, up and coming stars. There's going to be a lot of comparisons to other musicians out there, you know, when she comes out with her albums. I anticipate that when I tune into her over the next 2 years, she's going to have a lot of that being shown coming out. I also get with her that there is some sadness. Now, I don't know if this is like going back to her love life, emotions that she would have for someone, but Spirit is saying that, you know, right now she may be asking, like, why isn't she fully happy in her love life? Or why isn't, you know, because I don't know about her love life at all. I just follow her music, but Spirit is showing me like there is something going on, and I can't describe it, but other than it being like very oppressive and having these moments like you love someone but it's not reciprocated in some way, and so you're going through the gigs, you know, you're going through the emotions, and it's not easy. And this is something she just got to stay true to herself, and it's not with her. Whoever she's having these deep feelings for, it's not about her. It's not her fault. This person is very unstable. They don't have really good energy, but she is someone that, you know, is fierce, and she's going to pull through it. Even on her worst day, she gives herself that courage. There's also a caution for her, because I feel like she's overworking herself as well, like a lot of these celebrities do. You guys think that they have it easy, and they really don't. They put in a lot of hours, and it's strenuous going through all this stuff that they go through. You'd be surprised. But I do feel like she needs to really take care of herself. She is being guided by Native Americans, so I don't know if she believes in Native Americans or Indians, or but I do get a lot of Native American spirits around her. These would be her guides. I feel like the hawk is an important spirit animal totem for her. The hawk in particular, so you guys can look it up. It's a very spiritual animal totem, and I do get a lot of her third eye being awakened, so she is spiritually awoke. And this is going to come across in her music that she's releasing. Her music tells stories about her own life and other things that she's experienced. And again, this is she's entering a period now where a lot of her dreams and things are coming into reality. I feel like she has struggled, and she's had her moments where, like we all do, on the ladder to success, of not really knowing if she's going to be successful. She has these insecurities that we all do as human beings. It's normal. But Spirit is saying basically is she's going to be reaching the pinnacle of success that she so desires. Like, all of her hard work is not in vain. She's definitely going to be pulling through. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be everything that she wished for. But at the same time, there's a lot of things that she's only going to allow people to know what she wants them to know. She's going to hide a lot of things, not talk about a lot of her experiences, etc. But we will, you know, a lot of people will know and see it. Now, I don't know if she has any feminine issues, but again, that's something that just came in now from Spirit, something for her to watch, and I'll just leave it at that. And then lastly, the last thing that's coming in from Spirit for her is that there is going to be a lot of mental confusion. I feel like it's not this year, but more like 2020 when it comes to her album. There's going to be pressures that are put on her because this album will have a lot of success, you know. I feel like there's going to be more pressure out there for her to on her next album and creativeness, like writing and getting the next album out. The next album probably 2021, 2021. You know, I keep getting those two time frames. So even though she's putting out an album now out, there may be another album around 2020, 2021. But I get around that time that there's going to be a lot of heartbreak, a lot of opposition, a lot of creative blocks, a lot of obstacles, primarily from people in her production, her management, and basically in her own mind. So whatever she's going to be, you know, going through, she's going to have to like kind of slow down and really cleanse herself from a lot of these energies and really kind of regroup to get back to her point of where she is now. Like right now, creatively, she's at her peak, but she is going to enter a period in 2 years or so where things may be a little slower. She may be feeling like people have lost interest in a lot of her music, but she is someone that will stay relevant in her own right. And again, like I said, she's worked very, very hard for her career to where it is right now where it's going. But she is in this period where things are just flowing and things are manifesting the way that she hasn't really expected but has hoped for. And she's a beautiful soul. So as soon as, you know, as long as she continues to be true to herself and not really feed the world's opinions, and she continues to be Lizzo, she's going to be good. But within 2 years or so, there's some big changes for her on the style of music that she's going to be doing and other opportunities that she may want to step into that may overshadow or overtake what she is doing now. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that she may not want to necessarily put out another album within 2 years because maybe she may want to step into acting or another kind of, you know, entrepreneurial project. But again, we'll have to see that. I feel like music is her passion first and foremost, and will always be, and always in her book, you know, take precedence. But again, she's going places, and it's going to be very exciting for me as a fan, you know, to sit back and really watch her. And for those of you that are fans of Lizzo as well, to watch her really shine, because she shines. So this was a pretty long celeb mashup and psychic reading, almost 38 minutes. I'm so sorry for that, but you know, sit back this morning if you're listening to it with your cup of coffee, your tea, or you know, or your hot dogs in the afternoon, whatever you're eating, pizza. Just enjoy it. And I love you, Lizzo, out there. I hope you do listen to the psychic reading. And I love you all, my rays of light. So blessings and love and light. Have an amazing day or night wherever you are in the world.